Physical 100, the latest and greatest thing to have come out of both Koreas in 2023. A Netflix reality TV show that is very similar to Squid Games, where contestants are eliminated as the show progresses. This TV show challenges the contestants both physically and mentally. As they claw their way through each quest, there is one thing that they all want to prove, and that is to see who has the ultimate physique. The results of losing these quests eliminates the contestants from winning the prize money of 300 million won, which is equivalent to 226,000 US dollars. In One Piece, it is 21 million berries. The contestants are not your average Joe. They are the global gem type. They are the most giga of giga chads. They consist of various renowned athletes from all over South Korea. We're talking about Olympians, professional bodybuilders, combat fighters, strongman athletes, arm wrestlers, crossfitters, and backup dancers, actors, cheerleaders, models, and YouTubers. So with these top athletes competing with one another, it brings up the age-old question that has been long philosophized and argued amongst the greatest minds from centuries past. Can a woman win Physical 100? To answer that question, all we must do is focus on the female athlete that is most capable of going toe-to-toe with the men, the amateur wrestler, Hyun-seol. Unfortunately, she didn't even make it past the third quest, because the boat in quest 3 was way too heavy. It was 2 tons. 2! They really didn't do that bad though, since they only lost by 2 minutes. The only reason why they lost is because of Sung-min, one of the leaders in the team that placed second. He showed tremendous leadership skills by putting the team on his back in the very final minutes of this challenge. I'm talking about the moment when he placed the rope around his hips and started thrusting, inching the rope closer and closer to the moor. Anyways, let's imagine if my girl, Eun-sil, was on one of the teams that made it to the 4th quest. What game should she have played to possibly earn a shot at the 5th and final quest? The first game was the punishment of Atlas. All you have to do is to be the last person holding this big old boulder. There is just no way for her to be able to hold that boulder for over 2 hours to compete with the winner, Jin-hyeong, the car salesman who is also a strong man athlete. Next is the fire of Prometheus, where you had to race towards the other side of the obstacle course and grab a torch. The obstacle was a wooden structure that the contestants had to climb over. And there's just no way anybody was going to beat Park Jin-young. His hair was way too curly, and he was super agile for being such a big guy. He cleared it super easily, leaving everyone in the dust. So there ain't no way our girl Eun-sil would have beaten the curly hair guy. Third game was Wings of Icarus, the game where contestants had to continuously climb a rope that was slowly descending. And you already know that my boy ice climber Min-cheol was gonna win this. His calisthenic ability was way too strong. We saw that he placed first in the pecking order from quest 0. You know, when they were holding on to monkey bars and then lifted up to see who can hold on the longest. While ice climber Min-cheol placed first, our girl Eun-sil only placed 19th. So we would have already known the result if she had played this game. The 4th game was the Tale of Ouroboros, where 4 of the 20 contestants had to run in a circle and eliminate each other by tagging the person in front of them, and not get tagged by the person behind them, a true test of their cardio. At first, I felt like this game would have been the best option for Han Eun-sil to get to the next quest, but she will definitely not be able to compete with Woo Jin-young. I confidently say this because of how intense CrossFit is as a form of exercise. And on top of that, you have to consider his CrossFit competition accolades. In 2020, he placed 5th in the Spider Ultimate Challenge. These CrossFitters' cardio are on another level. With their fast reps and intense workout, they are unmatched. That is why Han Eun-sil would have gotten pwned in this game. As for the 5th game, where they had to roll a 100kg boulder up a hill, I don't even see her being able to beat the MMA fighter Sung-hoon, let alone the cyclist who actually won this game. Hong Hae-min is just too big and too strong. As for his cardio, it's gotta be on point because cycling is an endurance sport, so he actively pushes his body to its limit while competing. So that didn't go too well for our girl Han Eun-sil, but let's pretend that she did make it to the 5th quest, and let's see if she can compete with the guys that barely made it in each game of the final quest. In the first game, ice climber Min-cheol was eliminated, so let us replace him with Han Eun-sil. Can she compete with CrossFitter Woo Jin-young in a tug-of-war match? We would never know, but we can look at both of their physical capabilities to see who is stronger, so I went digging. Searching far and wide on the internet to really see how strong the two were. And I have concluded that Woo Jin-young is just overall bigger and stronger. Standing at 5'11" and an estimated weight of around 200 pounds, he is sure to be stronger than Han Eun-sil. A display of his strength is shown in this Instagram reel where his PR deadlift is 455 pounds, while Han Eun-sil is only 5'7" at around 150 pounds. If she had faced Woo Jin-young, she would have to go against the flawless crawling technique used to get an edge over Min-cheol. He would have surely reached his key before Han Eun-sil, and the results of this game would have been the same. Now, what if she did win the tug-of-war match with Woo Jin-young and made it to game 2? If she did, the result of the loser of game 2 would have been the same. Car salesman Jin-hyeong was at a huge disadvantage with this game. Being that big of a man and having to bend over to flip the tiles, you are sure to become fatigued really fast. The cyclists, Han Hae-min, would have still chosen Park Jin-young because of their loyalty to one another since they were on the same team. So that leads to Jin-hyung going against Han Eun-sil at the end of the game and eventually lead to Jin-hyung losing to a smaller and faster contestant. For the 3rd game, Han Eun-sil only has one person to beat, and it is Park Jin-young. Will her cardio beat the curly hair guy? Han Eun-sil actively performs CrossFit exercises, so she definitely has the cardiovascular endurance. According to her Instagram, she has a well-balanced training of both conditioning and strength, whereas Park Jin-young seems to be all strength, which makes me question his cardio. Han Eun-sil also has the advantage at being smaller because she doesn't have to reach far when ringing the bell. So for this game, I give that edge to Han Eun-sil. She finally made it to the final game, the infinite rope pulling, but yet another adversity for our girl. I just don't see her beating the cyclist Han Hae-min. He is just too big and too strong. But didn't everybody say that when he was going against Woo Jin-young? And then they were surprised by the winner of the show? Yeah, but Jin-young is the definition of being built different. You can never count out his tenacity. But it ultimately comes back to the size and strength gap between Han Eun-sil and Woo Jin-young. If she is already that small compared to Jin-young, then she is way smaller compared to the cyclist Han Hae-min. So going back to our question, can a woman possibly win Physical 100? The answer is yes, if they make it all women roster. In Quest 3, all the team leaders were trying to avoid having too much women on their team. The combined team that ended up with the most women lost. So I conclude by saying that there would have been no way for the woman in season 1 of Physical 100 to win the grand prize of 300 million wons. Thanks for watching. If the video made you neglect your responsibilities for the past 10 minutes, consider subscribing and giving it a thumbs up. Although everything that I have said here is objectively true, give me your thoughts in the comments anyway. Until then,